Hey, it's Bob here, and if you are ready for more Paul McCartney adding spice to his unreleased song, and you have your guitar with you, and you have your sheet music, you are ready to go, fasten your seatbelts. We have a hot tamale here for you, so we're going to add some more spice. Here we go. All right, I have a new study guide. It's a baby study guide, really. It's just a quickie demonstration of what's happening on paper here, a little chart here of what's happening that we're going to learn. And you can go ahead and download the chart here, right here, okay? And what we're going to be learning today is a cool spice to this Paul McCartney song called a hammer-on. H-A-M-M-E-R-O-N, a very popular guitar technique. What's cool about this is you could sound off a note with the hammer-on just with your left hand, and you don't even need your right hand to get a sound. So hammer-on, just exactly what it would imply. We're taking one of our fingers and we're just pressing down on a note, and you can hear that you can hear that there's sound. Okay, you don't have to press real hard, but I'm not doing anything with my right hand right now, and you can still hear the note. Okay. The right hand is going to help us get the note louder, okay, but we're actually not going to pick that note when we're playing it, okay? We're not going to be picking it like that. We're actually going to be picking a split second before that, okay? So if we're just on this string right here, on this second string, and we play that, okay? So all you have to do is just hit a note and press down. Hit and then press. Hit and then hammer. Okay? So hit the note down here, or pluck the note, and then play here. Okay, so why don't you try that with me? All I'm doing is just plucking the note and then hammering on. Okay? I'm 2 frets up on the second string, just below the fret where you'd normally play it anyway. Okay, why don't you try that, okay? So I'm just plucking it first, and then pressing down on 2 frets up, second string. Now if you can do that with one string, we can also do it with 2 strings, okay? Not hammering on with 2 strings, but just doing a hammer on, okay? Forming, in this particular case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be forming the A7 sus2 chord and then hammering on to the A7th chord. Alright, so let's hold that down, A7 sus2, and we're going to pluck it with our 5th string and our 2nd string. Okay, so try that with me. Now, if you can do it with hammering on from A7 sus2 to the A7th chord, it also means that you could probably take your pinky and with strings number 5 and 2 on your right hand, pluck those 2 notes and hammer on to the next measure, which is measure 4. See where we're going here? So this is measure 2, and this is measure 3. And measure 4. Okay, so all we're doing is we're taking our pinky finger, our 4th finger, and we're just pressing where the chord was, where we've known it's always been, except we're doing it like this in a hammer-on. Plucking once and playing it like that, okay? So why don't you try that, okay, with me. Hope you have your guitar. The tricky part of how to do this, and I want to go ahead and just play this hammer-on as I've written it in on the new little mini edition study guide here, or a little chart, is, let me just go ahead and play this. A lot of you guys are going to just get this, okay? But there's a really tricky part to understand. And it's probably a lot harder to teach than it is to play. It's very easy to play and difficult to teach. I had to really think about how to get you guys to understand this, because it was tricky for me to even understand what this was all about. So this is measures 2 through measures 4. Okay, one more time I'll play it. 2. So far, in all of the songs that I've been teaching, you know, Vacation Home, that song, even this song, we've been leaving in, as we're counting the rhythm, okay, because I have the rhythm down, I wrote it in the study guide, that we've been counting the rhythm as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, that never changes, okay? But the notes that we've been plucking, we've always been leaving the 1 and, the and of the 1 blank, okay? And what this hammer-on is doing is the and of the 1 is where the hammer-on goes, okay? 1 and, okay? That's measure 3, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So let's just work on measure 3. All right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right? Now, here's why it's hard to understand. Because that A7 sus2 chord is actually overhanging, going into measure 3 for one beat. Okay? The very first beat, it's overhanging. So this is measure 3, the very first note of measure 3, and you can see it in the tablature. The tablature explains it very well. Okay, I hope you know how to read tablature at this point. So it would be A7, chord-wise, it would be the A7 sus2 chord for the very first beat of measure 3, and then measure the 1 and, okay, the and of 1. Then that's when we change to the A7th chord. So it's okay. So technically speaking, the A7 sus2 chord, we continue to play that for exactly 1/8 note more. Okay, we continue into measure 3 with this chord for exactly 1/8 of a beat more, the very first downbeat, and the note, the and of 1, gets played by the hammer-on. Okay, not doing anything on that hammer-on when we go ahead to play that note with our right hand. Nothing is changing on our right hand. So try that with me. This is just measure 3. Okay. I also want to count this out for you guys too, okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 1 and 2. Measure 4, same exact thing. The A7th chord is going to carry 1/8 of a beat over into the next measure, into measure 4. All right? So we're going to have that as the first downbeat, and then the and of 1 is going to be played by our pinky finger 3 frets up on the 2nd string, okay, and that forms the A7 sus4 chord. Okay, so measure 4 sounds like this. Start with the A7th chord. Counting would be this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You see how my hand, we got a note in there by pressing down, and we didn't even do anything on the right hand. And then we continued with the picking pattern. So why don't you try that with me? Okay. Now, pressing down on that note, because that note, I've played it just, a split second before, an eighth of a beat before, that note is already ringing. So it makes it automatically louder. You don't have to really jam it down. Press it firm, okay, and you get a nice tone out of it if you just press it firmly. Even soft, you're going to get the note to resonate out, okay? All right, next what I want to do is let's go ahead. I want to just play with you measures 2, 3, and 4. We'll loop it. We'll put it in a little bit of a loop and try to play this real slow together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 2 coming up. 4. 1, 2, 3. Measure 2. Do it one more time. 3, 4. Now what I want to do is I want to count this, all the numbers here, the counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, here we go again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so real quick I want to tell you that we could do this same exact thing if you have that hammer on down for measures 3 and 4. That means that you could also do it for measures 7 and 8. It also means you can do it for measures 11 and 12, 15 and 16. I'm just looking at the sheet music here. Measure 20 you could do it for. Okay, we didn't go over the D7 chords, but if you know how to do it with the A7 chords, then you could definitely do it with it's the same exact thing, same theory for the D7 chords. I'll go over that next week, time permitting. and then measure 22. You can also do it for that as well, okay? And you could also use the three-fingered chords on the right hand to sound off for the hammer-on, okay? The playing three strings at once, okay? Real quick, I just want to tell everybody the amount of love and kindness from so many of you that have written into me with your well wishes and prayers. You have no idea how much that has helped. You can't even believe all the kindness from around the world with so many different things that so many people have done here. That's what keeps me going here, is the community that we have on this channel is unbelievable. And I don't know why I'm so lucky to have all of you guys that we get to work on music together, but I am truly blessed. And from my family to yours, I'd like to bless you, and hopefully everything's going to turn out okay, and we're going to have a lot of healing happening in our family and with my wife this year. So anyway, God bless all of you, and thank you so much. And I'll see you next week, okay? I'm going to try to make sure that I keep going with this. I got a little break from the hospital just now, and I ran over to the studio. The studio's an hour away, and a little bit of a haul, but I made it over here. I wanted to definitely just my thanks and appreciation for you guys, just with all of your prayers and your well wishes and positive energies. Okay, God bless you. See you next week.